Spain held a national election today, but first, the Marxist president of Bolivia has resigned. Evo Morales has resigned after weeks of violent protests and the prospect of a military coup. Morales won the first round of a presidential race last October. However, it is widely believed that the government committed election fraud to prevent a second-round runoff election. Morales has been president of Bolivia since 2006. The election in Spain was the second general election this year and the fourth general election in a 4-year period. While the right did better than last April, Spain will probably remain without a ruling coalition again, and it is already being predicted that there will be a fifth election in 5 years. Spain and Belgium have become hopelessly fragmented and ungovernable. Many are now predicting that the Netherlands is heading in the same direction. If we look at the history of democracy in Spain, it has always been very volatile. Spain began universal male suffrage after the Revolution of 1869. Right off the bat, they had non-stop early elections for decades. There was a military coup in 1923. Elections were resumed in 1931, only to have a brutal civil war from 1936 to 1939. In 1936, a collection of socialist, communist, and far-left parties known as the Popular Front won a huge majority. Much of the Spanish military mutinied. The Popular Front was defeated by forces led by General Francisco Franco, and then Franco ruled the country as a dictator for decades. There was not an open election again until 1977. The two main parties of the Popular Front were the Spanish Socialist Workers' Party, or the PSOE, and the Republican Left. The Republican Left went into exile in Mexico and eventually disbanded. The PSOE reemerged in the 70s, claiming they had shed the extremism of their past. The election of 1977 was extremely divided. However, after 2 election redos, the PSOE gained a majority in 1982. By the 90s, there were 2 dominant parties, the Socialist PSOE and the Center-Right People's Party, or PP. Spain finally started having elections where the winners actually got to serve their full 4 years. In 2015, there were 2 new parties that each won a bunch of seats. A new centrist to center-right party called the Citizens Party, and the left-wing Podemos. The result was widely considered to be the most divided Spanish parliament since 1977. An early snap election was called in 2016, and that led to a short-lived minority government run by the PP. This government collapsed in 2018, and then there was a minority government led by the PSOE. Then another snap election was called last April. Since the April election, there has been deadlock, which prompted a new snap election today, the 4th election in 4 years. Now, the Spanish Congress of Deputies has 350 seats. The core center-right parties went from 147 to 150 seats. The core left-wing parties went from 165 to 158. However, the big story is that the new conservative VOX party greatly increased their share of the vote. In fact, they came in 3rd place with 15.1%. The party got 10% last April. Their share of the seats is expected to increase from 24 to 52. The PP also went up some, but the Citizens Party crashed. The Catalonia Independence Bloc also grew. It took 23 seats. Other regional parties took another 19 seats. 7 of these seats are left-wing parties, and the other 12 are parties that range from centrist to center-right. In Spain, the conservatives tend to be the most hostile towards Catalan independence. However, if Catalonia was allowed to secede and form their own country, clearly the rest of Spain would be a more stable and conservative nation. Catalonia gets 48 seats in the House of Deputies. Only 6 of those seats went to the nationwide center-right parties. If we take away those 48 seats, the main nationwide center-right parties would then have 144 out of 302 seats, within 8 seats of a majority. And they could probably fill that gap with some of the remaining regional parties. So, something to think about there. Alright, thanks for watching this video. Click the like button, post a comment below and tell me what you think about this. And please consider making a donation to this YouTube channel, as YouTube has mass demonetized all my videos. And I would like to thank Philippa and Shistov. And please support my sponsor, Patriotic Flags, the online flag store, patriotic-flags.com. They are currently liquidating a bunch of t-shirts and embroidered polo shirts. So check those out while supplies last. And click the subscribe button. New video every few days.